and welcome to Motivation Monday. This topic came to me when I was walking the other day. I don't even, you know how when you get time to yourself, things just pop in your head. Well, this one just popped in my head, so fingers crossed it makes a lick of sense. Before we get started, I want to show you my Happy Mail. Do you see these little, I don't know if you can see that one, and you can see that one. Can you see? Judy Logue, who is always so good to me, said she was in this little artisan shop and she saw these and thought of me, because y'all know who I am about my owls. Well, they're handmade, which is why they're different. But aren't they just the prettiest things? And I knew I was going to show them to you today, and I had already pulled this shirt out, and so pink and pink I match. But I'm trying to get this done early because I got to take David to get a windshield put in his truck. Listen, they were going to come out and do it on site, and they called and said it's too old. It's too old. They have to do it in the shop. It's a 91. What does that make somebody born in 62 if a 91 truck is too old? Well, I guess it is, because he had bought it just right before we started dating, like the year before we started dating. So that'd make it, what, 28 years old? Can I do math? I'm not going to try to do math. No, 91. 30 years old? Is that right? Oh my gosh. Time really flies, doesn't it? Okay, first of all, let me show you. Y'all have seen my my coffee cup. I'm on the porch for the first time with it. So the bees, it's early in the morning, they shouldn't be out this time of day. They know who their queen is. So let's start on our topic of the day. How our weight loss journey is like marriage. If you've never been married, surely you know, you know the ins and outs of it. The first one, can I read my own writing? Is attraction. Okay, this is what my mama this is what my mama used to tell me. She said, looks ain't everything, but you got to be able to sit across the table at them and eat. Well, it makes a lot of sense. Here's what I told my kids, that I don't care if the person you like fits into anybody else's mold. If they're popular, if they're so-called pretty or good looking, that's in the eye of the beholder. Don't you let nobody else tell you who you like, that there's any reason you shouldn't like them. They don't look good enough. They're not smart enough. They're not rich enough like we were rich. You know what I'm saying? I said, you like who you like regardless of what people think. And they are both that way to this day. So that is a lesson that stuck. This is how it is the same in marriage. You have to have an attraction. We can't deny that. That's the first thing. It don't matter what you're attracted to. You could be attracted to their eyes, to anything. Something on the inside. It don't have to be an outside attraction, but there has to be something that draws you to that person. That's the same with our weight loss. You have to find a plan that is attractive to you. A plan that seems like something you can build a future with. Oh, that was a good one. Something that you think you can do. Something that you think you can work. So you have to find the right plan, just like you have to find the right man or woman. Then two, this is a big one. Commitment. You have to be committed. In a marriage, you have to be committed to one another. In a weight loss plan, you have to be committed to doing what it takes. A marriage doesn't just happen. Y'all know that. You don't even have to be married to know these are the same things for a relationship, whether you got a piece of paper or not. Period. A weight loss plan does not work if you don't commit to it. You know how I know that? Because I have not committed to plenty of them. I have not committed to pretty much everything I've ever been on. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be on a weight loss plan, right? So these are the things I put a note here that even in a committed relationship, it's okay to have me time. I have my me time because we're opposite schedule people. Always have been, except for like 1 year, maybe. He had to take a day job, maybe 2 years out of the 27 years we've been married. Maybe 2 of it he's been on days, the rest of it he's been on nights. And that works for us because that's what we know. So it's okay to have me time, which that's forced me time because he's at work and I'm at home. But even when he's home, if I want to go run to the store or something like that, that's okay. If he wants to go, he don't have anything fun he does, but if he does, it's okay. So the way that relates to weight loss is it's okay to have a treat. That's the way I see it. Your me time would be just taking a little break away from it. Don't go so far that what I'm trying to say, if your commitment is strong enough, that me time, that little treat, that little break is not going to break the relationship. You're not going to lose it. So it's okay to have a treat if you figured in the whole big scheme of things. Let's see. I got so much chicken scratch on here. We have to accept the bad with the good. Now we know that about marriage. We know that about marriage. Listen, in my marriage, I have to accept the fact that if he goes into the kitchen, I can trace his steps from all the crap he left behind. He like leaves a trail of breadcrumbs, so to speak. Sometimes, literally some breadcrumbs too. So that's the bad. I have to accept that because he's such a good provider. He's the best provider. And he takes such good care of me. He will do anything within reason, to make me happy and to make sure I am safe and secure where I am. So all these little nitpicky things that drive me flipping bananas, you take it with the good. You have to outweigh the good with the bad. So how that relates to my weight loss journey, maybe not yours. Mine, the bad is having to change the foods I like. That's just it. The good is what's the word I'm looking for? The benefits. The benefits of eating better, eating healthier, losing weight. Those are the good things. The bad things are I have to give up something. Wah. I do cry about it. Not really physical tears. I whine about it to myself because, well, I want that. Why can't I have that? Well, it's because you had too many of that already. That's your problem. So we have to take the bad with the good. And if the good outweighs the bad, you got a winner. Honesty. Ooh. A marriage cannot survive on lies. You have to be honest in your marriage. Guess what? You have to be honest in your weight loss. Oh, this is going to be loud. Hold on. It was a Jeep. I knew he was going to be loud when he turned the corner. But you have to be honest with each other. You have to be honest in your weight loss journey. You have to, if you're tracking, which I think is one of the main things to keep us on track, is so we can look and see what we've eaten, because our memories are not that great. We seem to have total recall of all things not true. I didn't eat that. Well, yeah, you did. So we have to honest track. We have to be honest with what we're eating. We can't just, and I've seen it because I've been there. Well, I don't really eat that much. I didn't eat but so-and-so and so-and-so when I know good and full well that I did. But it is what I'm thinking to myself, well, it couldn't be that bad. So we have to be honest with ourselves about what we're actually eating. The other one, next one, is forgiveness. We have to be able to forgive each other. There are stupid things we do and stupid things we say that we have to apologize for to the other person, but we have to be able to forgive when they do it to us. We have to be able to forgive them, and we have to move on. That is what happens in our weight loss. If we happen to have a bad day that is full of binges, I know y'all have had them days, because I have. We have to just forgive ourselves and move forward. Don't sit there feeling a guilt trip. You're not going to get anywhere sitting there with a big pile on your shoulders. You know what I mean? So we have to forgive ourselves and just move forward. Start with the next meal. Start the next day, however you want to do it. Just forgive it and move on. Then we have to compromise and adjust. Whew, that is a big one. Compromising are like those aggravating things he does. Some things I just have to, okay, here's one. One of the things he does that puts me and I've learned to just deal with it, is when he washes dishes, he'll leave the rag in the sink. Okay, but he don't drain it. He don't squeeze it out. He just leaves it there. That's his thing. But the compromising part is I'll pick it up and rinse it out and do it myself because he washes the dishes. So I have to adjust my mindset that says, oh my gosh, I'm going to sling that wet rag upside your head to just squeeze it out yourself because he did the dishes for you. That's our thing. I cook, he cleans. And he does it every night before he goes to work. After supper, he cleans the dishes before he goes to work. And so that's a compromise on my part. That's just an example. So the compromise on our weight loss journey is our food. Y'all know how I feel. We just talked about it, how I have pity parties. Not so much. I'm getting over it the past couple weeks. I'm working on it since I've kind of got my mindset going. Knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it. But we have to compromise the things that we want to eat to the things that we should eat, or the amount that we want to eat to the amount that we should eat. Those are compromises. We have to compromise with exercise. I am compromising the fact that I don't feel good and I don't want to go walk because it's not necessarily comfortable, but I'm adjusting to it, and I've told you before, I feel better afterwards. And I'm getting to the point where even though my body says, oh my gosh, I can't walk today, my mind says, you better go out there and walk. So that's something else I'm adjusting to, doing something I don't necessarily want to do. That's what I said yesterday, go out and do the hard thing. It's the hard thing for me, but I'm getting used to it and adjusting to the fact that that's going to be part of my journey, and I think it's really paying off too. Then, now this one is the one that it is good for marriage, but let me see where to put that down. I don't think it's necessarily good for a weight loss journey, but I thought I was going to mention it. What's the one big thing you better not do in marriage? I'll give you a second. Cheat. You better not cheat in marriage. That is a no-go. But on a weight loss journey, I know we call it a lifestyle, so you don't really cheat. Well, yeah, I think you do cheat because it's a cheat day, it's a treat day, it's a splurge day. It's something out of the ordinary. It is something you're not used to. It is something different from the normal. So I think it's a cheat. Call it what you want. I think that is okay on our weight loss journey because we have to have those real life days, or I think we will burn out and we will stop trying. I had one of those last night, but you know what? I stayed in my points. I used my weeklies, and I had rolled weeklies over every single day since Wednesday, and I still have more weeklies left. Either one or two more weeklies, or like the exact same number of weeklies as I get for the day. So even though we ate out, and I ate something good that I haven't had in a long time, I was still able to use my dailies and half of my weeklies. So that is a splurge day for me. I won't call that one a cheap one because I did track it. But you know what? If you have a party to go to or you have a big celebration and you want to join in the fun, then join in it. Just don't stay there. Come right back. Find that commitment that we talked about earlier. Find that commitment to your plan and come back to that way of eating, to that lifestyle. So it made me I meant to tell you when we were talking about like the good with the bad. So me and Joel were talking about okay, first of all, we talk about some stuff, but we were talking about ears. I know. And it brought to mind this story many years ago, before we redid the whole inside of the house. We gutted this house. There was nothing but the outside studs and the brick. I promise you, you would come, the big room was still built in. We just did the main house. You could just stand right there at the door and you saw nothing but dirt. He even took up the footings, the piers, whatever you want to call them, the styrofoam. Our house is on styrofoam. Oh my gosh. Concrete blocks. Oh my gosh. There was nothing but the shell and the dirt. So he rebuilt this house pretty much from scratch. One of the inspectors come and told him, he says, man, he said, you're building this like an airplane. Listen, when he does something, he overdoes it. He wanted to make sure it was solid as a rock. So anyway, this was before we did that, and there was lots of we were spider prone, put it that way. There was lots of gaps and drafty areas, and it was just there. We had problems in the house. There had been years of water damage. This was Mama's house we bought from her. Years of water damage that had rotted out the back half of the house. And so we were prone to spiders, all kind of spiders. Well, one day, Dave was like, there's something in my ear. I'm like, are you sure? And he says, he would do that. And he said, I can feel something fluttering in there. So we're like, oh, okay, there's a gnat in there or something. So I go, and it was the time of the internet. You go and you check the internet. I don't know that it was Google at the time so much as, I don't really know, to be honest with you. So I go and look. If you think you have something in your ear, what do? It says warm up some olive oil, lay on your side, drizzle the olive oil in there, and then whatever foreign object, I guess you would say, is in there will rise to the top as the olive oil goes in. So we get on the couch. He lays his head down on my lap. I get a little pillow. He's laying there. It's this ear right there. I can see it in my mind's eye. I warm up that olive oil and I start drizzling it in. All of a sudden, I kid you not, out comes crawling this. I can see it. This little black fuzzy spider. Even though he was covered in olive oil, I know he was a fuzzy one. He was a little compact, fully black. Not a spider with long skinny legs. He was a fully round black spider. That's what was in his ear. I'm gonna tell you right now, I started slapping that man's head. The poor thing. He got beaten to death. But I got it. That's what I call the good with the bad. Listen, another spider story. I'm gonna tell you this right quick. I think I've told you before. We already had put the carpet down. Now, how this one is like, we'll still get a rogue spider. Not so much anymore, but we'll still get a rogue spider. So we had one. We already had put the carpet down. This, I know, was in 2009. I remember that. And I had rearranged where I had like a rocking glider that I could sit in. I didn't have my lift chair at the time because I didn't need it. I'm sitting there, and if you go to Harbor Freight, hold on just a minute. So if you go to Harbor Freight, they have those tennis racket fly swats that you put batteries in them and they're electric. You can electrocute the bugs. Oh my gosh, that thing is wonderful. My brother bought it for me many years ago. It is it is wonderful. You trap that bug. Wasps and bees are my favorite thing. That we used to get dirt daubers in the house before we sealed up the big room. We used to get dirt daubers in the house, and I'm gonna tell you what, them things hurt. They hurt like the devil when they sting you. I got stung twice. But when you pin that thing up on the wall, and sparks fly, oh, it's wonderful. Yes, I'm that person. Anyway, so I seen a spider down there, and I get up to get my little tennis racket, and when I pop it down on that carpet and I hit the button, if you could see them, I'm literally getting chills. And Holly was in there with me. Like a million spider babies. It was like something from a horror movie. It was like a sunburst all around that spider. Just a sunburst of, looked like millions of baby spiders. I was beating that carpet to death with that electric thing, trying to kill all those babies. Could you imagine what my house would look like with all those babies scattered throughout, have grown up to be an adult? I'd have had to move. I'd pack my bags and move. I'm like, as soon as you get rid of them, I'll be back. Like on the Amityville Horror when all them flies is up in the window. No, can't be doing that. Not my thing. So those are my spider stories for today. Creepy. Listen, I don't like a spider. Have you seen that meme? And then I'm gonna go. Have you seen that meme going around Facebook? And it's like a red Solo cup that is duct taped to the walls. Like, well, I caught the spider, now what? Something like that. That's kind of me and Holly. Holly don't do the bugs. Holly does not do the bugs. She will freak out on you. So anyway, well, that's all we're going to talk about today, is how our weight loss journey is like marriage. So maybe I don't know if it was motivating or not, but it gives you something to think about. If you got any other analogies, I'm sure I forgot some stuff because, drop them below. We'll talk about any other things you can think of, how it relates. So that is all. It's probably about time to go take that truck, and I will see you on my next video.